everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Inspiring Leaders and Leadership by Advantage Club. My name is Smiti. I'm one of the founders of Advantage Club, and I'm your host for today. Today, we have an amazing person with us. We have all the way joining us from Turkey, Ibrahim K, who manages HR for Klöckner Pentaplast. Welcome, Ibrahim. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Midi, for your invitation, and I'm very pleased to be joined and to make a conversation with you. I'm very happy to share what I was experienced and make me very happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Ibrahim. So let's start a little bit by telling the audience about your background, what you do, and your journey in HR.
Sure, exactly, absolutely. Okay, actually, my journey has started in after the university. Actually, to be honest, I would like to be to work in government as an officer and auditor. Actually, during the during the end of my university time, I was preparing the exam to become auditor. Unfortunately, the big earthquake has been happened in my city in 20 years ago. I mentioned it, another big earthquake. Because of that, the whole examination has been cancelled. So I had to complete my military service, which is mandatory in our country, Midi. I had to go there and I completed and came back and then started in special marketplace as a accountant. My career actually is started as accountant. In Lactalis company, this is the first experiences. This is the first company for me. Lactalis company is very famous in Europe, which is producing in milk and dairy company actually. The media actually, I didn't like the accountant topics, accountant duties, because I don't like the documentation. I didn't like the documentation. I would like to get in touch with the people. I would have to work with the people actually. During that time, the HR manager has realized my enthusiasm, and then he had offered me to work with him. And then I accepted right away. And I transferred to the HR department, and career has been started in over there as HR officer. I work over there almost one year. Then I have promoted to another company, which is the same holding of the company actually. It was the internal transfer. I mean. The second company was producing the Coke production, and I was transferring to there as a HR responsible, and I work over there almost 6 years, and I have grabbed a lot of experiences in over there. Then transfer it again in current company. The name was the Pharmamak. But 2016, the Klöckner Pentaplast and Pharmamak has been accused and merged. Then right now, I am been working in here as a human resource manager. It was very exciting because, you know, the Klöckner Pentaplast is very famous in plastic marketplace sector. In the world, almost 6,000 employees in working in this company, and I am representing in Turkey site. That's all I can say for this question.
No, that's great. And it's been what, almost 20 years since you've been in the industry and spending most of it in HR. And it's been a very interesting journey, right? You started looking forward to a government job, but then I think universe had different things in plans for you, and then you moved to an accountant role, and then from accounts directly to HR. So I'm sure it would have been really challenging, to move from various departments learn new things over time. And we always say that challenges are the stepping stones to success. So how do
Mhm.
you navigate challenges when the going gets tough? And any examples of any failures that you've experienced and you've overcome, and what you've learned from it?
Thank you. Actually, to be honest, I'm a failure in my career because I learned a lot of things from this my failure. I believe that Midi, what doesn't make you diet will make you stronger. Actually, these things is the same with the all life. I can say that. Um, let's make a sample. For example, in my second company, which is producing the Coke production, I worked over there almost 6 years, but there was no any promotion for me and no any salary exceptional increasing. I was working hard, just one employee is working in over there in HR, just me, you know. But I realized that something has to be changed, and then I have done an interview with myself. Ibrahim, what is your lack of your competencies? And then I found that this is first one. I found three things. I have to increase my language skills. Uh, this has been happened in almost 11 or 12 years ago. And in other things, I have to develop my graduation level. I have to increase my graduate level and a little bit self-confidence I need. Then I have started to change my life during this decision. I didn't complain anywhere in this one actually. And then I have decided a critical decision during that time to learn English. And I went to London. For a while, I have been in over there and came back and applied to university for the master degree. Then a little bit make feel myself self confidentially. I am transferred to another company with these competencies. Actually, I can say that. Uh, if you would like to change the world or if you would like to change the company, I believe that you have to firstly change yourselves, and it's very critical. All people are complaining for the others, but we should look ourselves, myself. I convinced with my life. And then, as I mentioned before, I couldn't have been any promotion during that time, but I have done myself with interview. Then I have changed my life and reached out my dream, And I in the first year I have become a human resources specialist. Then in the 2 years later, I became a human resources executive. Then right now HR manager is as working is in here. Right now, I'm managing the Middle East and Europe HR topics, and especially most majority in the Turkey duties. I'm very happy due to changed my life with my interview myself. I can say that.
I love that concept of interviewing yourself, especially as HRs, I mean, who understand what you need from a candidate when you're hiring them. It also gives you time to go back and self reflect and think that if I was hiring myself, would I hire myself? So interview itself is a great anecdote, and I think everyone should at least follow that and identify what challenges they can overcome to actually be more competent over time. So love that. So moving on to the next question, who has been like your biggest supporter or mentor over the course of your career?
To be honest, my biggest mentor, actually, I can say three mentors, but the first and biggest mentor is actually my mom. my mom teach me to love the people in gratis. Actually, I believe that if you work in HR department and if you don't love the people, it is not possible to reach out to success. There is a lot of conflict. It will happen all time and with someone else and with some topics as well. But if when you come across this conflict, you can defeat all problems with the love, with the love of the people. Actually, for example, when the conflict and then I'm not angry with him, even if he angry with me, and I'm trying to get in touch, get along with the goodwill, and I realize that all conflicts will be resulting the good results. You know, this is the first and critical things for me. And another one is my elder brother was so hardworking person and hard studying person. I grow up with his experiences and his love of the working, and then I'm working in any time if any need else. The third how can I say, third mentor, my family, I can say, because my family, Midi, they are saying that all time trusting me. When I feeling myself very stuck, and I am thinking my family, my wife and my children, they are saying, I am willing, I am trusting you all time that, and I'm restarting again. I can say family, my elder brother and my mom, the all of them is all my biggest mentors. So as a sum up, I learned the law from my mom, and I worked hard in every condition from my elder brother, and do something because there's the one who believe in you from family, I can say.
No, that's absolutely true. And, I always say that if your personal life is sorted, your professional life is also sorted, it might not be the other way around, your professional life might not be sorted, but that will not affect your personal life that much. But having a family support is really, really important, especially if you want to grow in your career, so that you're not worried about that part of the world and you can move forward and gain growth in your career. And everything begins at home. So of course, if you are in a people facing function like HR, you need to have a love of the people. Otherwise, if you can't empathize with them, you will never understand their problems and you'll never be able to come up with innovative solutions for that. So, and you're, talking about the people facing functions like HRs, or figuring out the challenges for the employees and then solving them over time. Um, Employee needs are also constantly changing today. What used to work yesterday does not work today. What works today might not work tomorrow. So how do you think HR leaders should approach this in terms of changing needs of employees constantly? How can they address those challenges?
Understood. Actually, the HR is very critical department in a company, because, for example, you are hiring someone, and then the person, the employee who you hired employee is changing the company with his decision. The decision means that we have to be careful to hiring terms. So I have steps to find the correct candidate for my job. Actually, I have 6 steps, I can say. The first one, the candidate has to be team player. Midi, if you are not a team player, it doesn't matter where you have been graduated from somewhere, where what is your competence. It's not matter actually. If you are not working with the team in line, it is not available for the company actually. The another one, second one, candidate has to be push and force the leadership in the team. We have to find a team member, and then he or she has to be force the leadership in the team, because we need this is competencies and enthusiasm. The another one, the third one is enthusiastic. You know, if you love your job, and if you have enough motivation for your job, which is have to do your duties, it will not be easier. It will not be to reach out to accomplishment, you know. Because of that, I believe that enthusiasm is very critical. In the first time, without any enthusiasm, in the first time, you can be successful, yes, but it's not be sustainable. The third has to be very critical, is ethical. You know, you have to be obey all rules and ethical rules. You have not to be affected the people during your job, and you have to be in line the social and law rules is very critical. And the fifth thing is that job oriented and also humanitarian, not job oriented on alone, with together humanitarian, humanist. You know, I would like to let me explain what I mean. For example, when I give a job to someone, and let's say that he is so job oriented, and he's reach out his target, but he can be destroy the around. You know, I don't need things. I need results, but the people, collect the people. You know, so that I don't want the jungle fighter. You know, because of that, we need both of them. He has to be humanity and job oriented, because I have combined with the double is in fifth act. The last one is that added value, Midi. Added value is very critical because, for example, as a HR, we are doing a social activities, and then we are doing something decisions. If these activities is not affecting positively P&L, it's not necessary. You know, we don't need to this. Or if we hire someone, and if he can be successful and team member as well, but if the things the things which he has done is not affected the profitability, it's not necessary. Because of that, this is last one, added value is critical. It has to be involved in characteristic candidates. You know, if you achieve to build a team who is including these competencies, I believe that company will be very successful. I realized that, and I experienced that actually. Right now, I'm implementing these steps right now.
No, that's great. And just to summarize, the 6 pointers which you mentioned are that the candidates need to be team players. They need to have the ability to work with the leadership and eventually evolve as a leader. They need to be enthusiastic or motivated towards their work. They need to be ethical. They need to be job-oriented, humanitarian, and also need to add more value to the organization than what is just expected out of them as a simple job. So when we talk about, I want to focus on the enthusiasm and the motivation part of the 6 pointers. Motivation or enthusiasm or belongingness towards an organization, while of course, before you join a company, you are automatically motivated. But once you join a company, things change, right? So you also
Yeah.
need the organization to support you, to encourage you, to motivate you, and retain you eventually. Um,
Yes.
what typically organizations do is they create employee recognition or engagement programs to drive a better employee experience. So, any examples of how you have innovated recognition experience or engagement programs at Klöckner Pentaplast?
Okay. Actually, I can say that hire the best or make employee who hired trained well, otherwise pray. Actually, doing, we are doing um, in the first step to hearing the voice of the employees. In Klöckner Pentaplast, we do bi-yearly survey engagement, and then we collect their opinion regarding our job methodologies and what they want from their managers, and we are writing the all things, and we are collecting the data, and also a special company is supporting during the survey engagement process, which is very famous in the world. Then we are organizing a workshop meetings with employees for each shift, and also the all white collar employees, and as well as the blue collar employees as well. Then we are discussing the results of survey. What was the wrong? What can be an action plan to solve this problem? And we are defining the problem and also actions together. It's very valuable thing, we are asking the blue collar employees, so what is your expectation from us? And then when you ask the employee the things, the employee reflect the good things. I experienced this a lot. Then we are doing monthly meetings with the global HR managers regarding with our action plans. Then we are doing again 2 years later the same survey engagement. We are following up what has happened, what has changed, what has still continue problem, and then year by year the all problem can be solved. Understood. But time is changing, and and also in the same time, all problem can be evaluating in the same time. For example, a problem can be reason for this year, but next 2 years it cannot be able to the same problem. So that it's very critical to hear the voice of the employees. And also we are continue to open door meetings with them, line by line, and also we are doing industrial meeting with the union representatives to understand what is the problem. Actually, I would like to share my experiences. We are asking the employees during the industrial meetings, okay, please say to us, what is your emotional problem? What do you want from us to make the better your job conditions? They are suggesting them, not their suggestions. They are suggesting to us regarding with the machine renewable, not individual demand. It's very nice. It's very critical and very make me happy. If you ask the people, if you ask the employees, they are reflecting the good things. If you give the one things, they are giving back to you two things actually. On the other hand, we don't want to miss any social activities and celebrating days, for example, birthday and the World Women Days, etc., etc. Maybe I can say the last things for this. We have created the training matrix and competencies matrix for the blue collar employee especially. I have the all job titles, and also what we need, the competencies in order to do this job, and we have evaluated the employees according to this table, and then we are seeing the requirement of the training, so that when we completed the training terms, we are updating this table, and then we are learning together. We are growing the knowledge of the employees during this application. Maybe I can say for this then. And then we are caring, and also well-being is nowadays very critical. We have passed the COVID-19 terms, and also in the Turkey, big earthquake has been happened. We need a little bit well-being process. We are caring as well these topics as well.
No, I love that. And I like how you split this across 4 domains. One is a 360-degree feedback, where you're not just taking feedbacks from white collars, but also listening to the blue collars, understanding their challenges, and devising your company strategies basis what the employees are saying, and not basis what the management is deciding, right? So it's a very bottom to top process, which is great. Second, around celebrations of moments that matter, so birthdays, anniversaries, Women's Week, and all of those things, where on those specific moments, employees get the right touch points, and they get recognitions or rewards or gifts or whatever to drive them to feel more belonged to the organization. I like the third part around training and learning, basically upskilling your employees and reskilling them to ensure that the productivity increases. At the same time, they also feel that they're getting more from the company itself. And of course, well-being, it's the need of the hour. Unfortunately, we had this earthquake last month in Turkey. We spoke about it. 40,000 people died. Well-being is literally on top of everybody's priority today. So what the organization does in cases of such natural disasters or any mishaps, and how do you support your employees, not just for now, but also for going forward in the future. It's great that KPE is working on all the 4 pillars of employee experience. It's great to know that. So just to wrap up, the last question will be, any piece of advice you would like to give to HR leaders of tomorrow?
Actually, I can say that work hard and believe themselves. If someone can change themselves, then can be able to change the company. And then if you change the company, you will be better valued person in the company. And in my opinion, we need to follow up the trends, HR trends. Actually, HR stories has been started with personal management to do HR management, HR human resources management, and then also strategic HR management has been placed instead of the HR management. But right now, nowadays, we are following up the analytic HR process, and the trending is continuously fast. And we have to, the new guys has to be follow up the trends. And actually, I would like to say that the last thing is that HR people has aware of the financial instrument of the company. Just a little bit, it can be enough. But a lot of things can, a lot of person can think that HR not related to financial things. But I don't think like this. I don't think so that HR can change the productivity and profit and losing numbers and EBITDAs, and a little bit has to be understood balance sheet. It will be effectively if we care about, if we awaiting these issues. I can say that all.
And that comes perfectly from you, right? having known accounts and having known HR, you just merge them both together. If HR knows accounts and accounts knows HR, I mean, that's amazing, right? So
Yeah.
I love that mix which you did for both.
We
Great.
have started with accounting and then we have finished with accounting. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's how the world should function, you know. Everything should start from PNL and everything should be structured around PNL and everything should be targeted in that way. And everyone, if they work in that same direction with the same thought process of growing the company, I think it'll just bring everyone in the same page. So I love that. And with that, we're at the end of the podcast. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for your time today. It was amazing interacting with you, and our hearts and our prayers to all the people of Turkey, and for the ones who've lost others. We send all our prayers and wishes to them, and for the ones who are rebuilding their life, we wish them all the best. So thank you, Ibrahim, for your time, and it was lovely interacting with you today.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you.